Hello everyone out there in Rumble, X, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and today we're going to finish talking about this abortion and just like crap. It's finally over, and I'm done talking about this series. I might do some follow-up videos on it later on if anything happens. Apparently, Sarah Jessica Parker is shopping this around, trying to get somebody to buy it so they can do another season. I don't really think there's any more they can say that they haven't already said. Okay, they didn't say anything that we wanted to hear in the past 4 years the show's been on. So, if it's the same creative team, and it is, it's Sarah Jessica Parker and Michael Patrick Queen, okay, and Samantha Irby and those idiots there, okay, it's just going to end up being a vanity project, okay, about what the message they're trying to push out there, as opposed to who their characters are supposed to be and how their characters should be acting, okay. This show had nothing to do with Candace Bushell. She did not sign off on this show. She sold the rights to Sex and the City a long time ago, so she was not involved at all. And you can tell, okay, because the main thesis of Sex and the City was these middle-aged women, professional women, all trying to find love, okay, and how difficult it was. Well, you know what, babe, it does not get easier the older you get. It does not get easier, okay? And what this show gave us was a few women that were trying to find love and a few women that are already in a relationship. And they treated their relationships like crap. They didn't do any maintenance on it, okay? They were unhappy in their marriages because they married some losers, okay? And they're losers as well. The show doesn't ever reference that, okay? No one wants to take accountability for their own actions, so you don't care about anybody. There's nobody on the show that you really feel empathy towards. I mean, the very first episode, Big dies, and what did Carrie do? She didn't call 911. She smothered him. And then what happened right after that? She started spending his money. She started spending his money on clothes and dates and things like that, okay? And like restaurants and things like that. I was like, come on, man, your husband's in the grave, okay? You know what I mean? And then the whole push of season one was all her friends trying to push her into dating again. You're a fucking widow. Your husband just died. Okay, come on. I thought you loved this guy. And then what does she do? She jumps in the sack with one of her producers from the podcast that she's on. I mean, it's just ridiculous, okay? The character assassination, even Charlotte, who was a sweetheart on Sex, she was the nice one. Yes, she was a gold digger, and yes, she was an airhead, but she was the nice one. Out of the four women, she was the nice one, okay? Kristen Davis was, out of the four women, the one I was most attracted to, okay? And I remember talking to my guy friends, and TV Guide, that used to be a thing back in the day. TV Guide did a poll. They only polled men, only men, no women, about Sex and the City. They gave all of them, the four women that were on Sex and the City. They presented these to men and asked them, out of these four women, which one would you hook up with? Okay, which one would be your number one choice out of the four women? You would think it'd be Samantha, right? No, it wasn't. In fact, they all, almost unanimously, they all voted for Charlotte. Yes, for Charlotte. This is the men, not the women talking. Not the gay guys talking. These are the straight men were surveyed. Okay, and I think it was like 91% all picked Charlotte. And you know why? And it's not just because she's attractive. Okay, it's because she was the most feminine. She actually wanted to get married. She actually wanted to be a wife. She wanted to be a mother. Okay, and she wanted to treat her men with respect. She wanted that. You see what I mean? Because she knew any man that she got with was going to treat her with respect as well. You see what I mean? Okay, and then you can't really you can't portray that very well on a show like this, because this is all misandry. This is all like women got to get with theirs and then fuck men. That's what this show was about. All the men get fucked over in some way. They're all depicted as insecure, needy, no self-esteem, no backbone, no courage. You know what I mean? It's the women that got to do everything on the show. It's the women that boss the men around. It's the women who put their feelings first ahead of their husbands. And the husbands have to do it. It's perfectly, there's so many scenes, I'm not going to get into here, okay? But I keep thinking about the scene, remember when I think it was season 2, when Lisa was going to go to the Met, and I guess their driver didn't show up or was running late. And so she put on this ridiculous like Spider-Woman mask on, and then she had this dress on with like a train on it that was like 30 feet long. Okay, and Herbert had to carry that train while she walked downtown New York in her ridiculous outfit, thinking that she was God's gift to men or some shit. Like she was the most beautiful woman in the world. okay, with her husband just carrying her train, just like a dopey idiot that he is, okay? And that perfectly exemplifies the way women think about men on the show, okay? And I know the show's not meant for us. I get it, okay? But it doesn't mean you have to treat us like shit on the show either, okay? Superhero movies aren't meant for you, ladies. They're not meant for you, okay? It's mostly boys that watch that shit, okay? But it doesn't mean that the guys on that show start treating women like shit either, okay? They don't do that. You see what I mean? Captain America doesn't call Black Widow a bitch or a slut or anything like that. He doesn't. He doesn't say like, oh, it's just because you're a woman. He doesn't do any of that shit, okay? You see what I mean? So why is it that we can't have that as well? Why is it that all the men have to be disrespected or portrayed as fucking idiots? Idiots, cowards, or just plain evil. Okay, that's exactly what this show was. Okay? The male aspect of it. Okay? Shit on men. Fuck over Steve. Okay? Portray Elisa's husband as a limp dick, bald-headed, chubby, self-conscious, insecure, fucking beta male provider. Okay? Depict fucking Harry, okay, as a chumpy, limp dick, literally, okay, bald-headed, insecure, self-depreciating, beta male provider, okay, who has no authority in his own fucking household, okay? Can you imagine, okay, remember when Charlotte went back to work last season, okay, and Harry had a hard time, getting the kids to school and all that while working his career, the career that pays for everything that they live in, and he complains to Charlotte about it because she went out all night drinking, okay, and gets home like at fucking 7 in the morning, and he tells her, hey, listen, sweetheart, I don't think I can do this. This is like really hard. And she gives him this big lecture about, Harry, what you've done today, okay, I know it seems hard for you, but what you've done today is the bare minimum. Okay, the bare minimum of a woman who's a fucking housewife, who sits around on her ass all day and goes to fucking fancy restaurants with her girlfriends for breakfast, lunch, and fucking dinner. Okay? This woman's lecturing him how like he doesn't do enough. He needs to carry his weight, okay? He needs to start like carrying some of the weight in this family. Bull fucking shit. Make it the other way around, okay? Make it that fucking Charlotte's now the provider. She has to pay for everything in that house. She has to pay for the private schools, the clothes, the restaurants, the vacations, okay? Everything, okay? Okay, and then she comes home from work and she complains. He tells her, hey, listen, sweetheart, okay, I know that you're working all day, providing us with this exuberant lifestyle that we have, the private schools, the furniture, the artwork, the clothes, my clothes, your clothes, the kids' clothes, the vacations, the restaurants, the parties. I know you're providing for all of that, okay? But you know what, okay, just because you get home, because you clock out of your job and you get home, does not mean that you're done working. Okay, you still have to deal with my problems. Okay, you still have to support me. You still have to listen to what's bothering me. You still have to participate in our kids' life and take care of them as well, financially, emotionally, every which way. Okay, you don't just get to come home after you provided us with this lifestyle. Okay, now you have to listen to me and put up with my shit. Okay, because what you did working all day, slaving all day, 9 hours a day, okay, your job, that is the bare minimum. Okay, can you imagine Harry talking to her like that? Yeah, can you imagine that? Okay, that's what this shit show is. That's exactly what And Just Like Crap is. It's perfectly summarized right there. Okay, you got Aiden over here who's jealous of Duncan downstairs because he's afraid that his girlfriend is going to fucking cheat on him again, okay, with the guy downstairs because they have so much in common. They're both professional writers, all that kind of shit, right? He's not there all the time because he lives in Virginia and Duncan's right downstairs. All she has to do is come downstairs to fuck him. So he gets nervous about that. He gets jealous about that because, Carrie has cheated on him before, okay? And so he kind of wants to get to know this guy. Like, hey, listen, I'm the boyfriend. I want you to, when you think about fucking my girlfriend, I want you to see this face and think about how I might react to that. Okay, that's what he's trying to do. Now, do I excuse it? Fuck no. He never should have gone back with Carrie in the first place. Why the fuck would a guy get back with a woman that broke his heart twice, 20 fucking something years ago? It makes no fucking sense. No guy would ever fucking do that. But let's just say it really did happen. Okay, that's what he was doing, and Carrie forbid him to talk to Duncan. Okay, and then what does she do? She breaks up with him. This is the guy. She bought the whole fucking house for him. Okay, this is the guy that she wanted to give. This is her one and only now. Now that Big's gone, right? This is the man that she wants more than anyone else, and she dumped him just like that because he's still jealous. Because he's still jealous about shit that happened 25 years ago. Okay, like what the fuck? Really? He's that disposable? Like you've never fucking done anything stupid, Carrie? Okay? Like you haven't fucking hurt anybody, okay? Or acted dumb or insecure or narcissistic or selfish, okay? Where everything's all fucking about you all the goddamn time? Never about any of your friends. It's always about, what's bothering Carrie today. Okay? You see what I mean? And yet he put up with that shit. He didn't tell you, hey, you need to stop being selfish or else this is over. He never gave her an ultimatum like that, did he? But yeah, she's the most neurotic, the most selfish one on the whole fucking show. She's the one that's always got to talk about her problems all the goddamn time. Whenever her girlfriends have a problem, she immediately changes the subject so she can talk about her problems. Okay? And he doesn't give a shit about that. Okay? But he's jealous, okay, because Carrie is fucking partying and drinking and sipping drinks out of the cup of the guy downstairs. Okay? And he starts acting that out. Now she's saying, okay, that's it. We're done. We're done. Okay, there's nothing more I can do for you that I haven't already done. You see what I mean? This is stupid. On both sides. Okay? If you weren't sure about Aiden, why the fuck did you buy the house? And Aiden, if you were still pissed off at her for fucking you over, why the fuck did you get back with her? You see what I mean? Straight guy's point of view. That's what this show needed. Okay? And it's not going to get it. It's never going to get it. Okay? Because you don't care what we have to say. You don't care about us. Okay? I'm not saying the women watch this video. I'm talking about the people that make this show. Okay? They don't care about us, about what we contribute to anything. Okay? I didn't start this channel to be what do you call it, a loudspeaker for men's rights or anything like that. I'm just calling out hypocrisy. I'm just calling it out. Okay, I'm the first one to admit, I've watched a lot of old shows and old movies and stuff, and yeah, there was a lot of sexism in those movies. There was. Okay? Like something like The Honeymooners and shit. Okay, yeah, as funny as that show was, yes. Okay, they did depict women badly on that show. They did, okay? The fact that Alice had to stay at home while her fucking broke-ass husband was driving a bus all fucking day, and then he would just come home and yell at her and do stupid things, Okay, yeah, that was a bit once. I mean, she held her own against him, but the fact that she had to stay home, because, she's the wife and yes, that was a bit sexist back. I'm the first one to admit it. The show is funny, not perfect. You look back on it now, yes. Something like I Love Lucy. Okay, where Ricky gets to go hang out with his bandmates all day and work on his show and entertain people while Lucy's forced to stay home all the time. She can't even go watch him play at his band, I get that, sexism, I get it, okay? But that was a different time. It ain't like that anymore. And it has not been like that for a very, very, very long time. Okay? If anything, the men are the ones getting treated like shit now. Okay? Which is why guys don't watch this show. Okay? It's the reason that guys aren't dating anymore. It's the reason men aren't getting married anymore. Okay? Think about it. Okay? This is a cultural crisis that's going on right now. Men and women are separated. Okay? Big time. Most of you women are over here fucking still pissed off that Harris lost. Okay? Whereas most of the men are fucking living it up happy that Trump won. You see what I mean? Like women are going to the left and men are going to the right. How the fuck does this fix anything? How does this bring us together? The whole point of me making these videos is to teach you guys, okay, yes, we're different, okay? We are completely fucking different, but there's still a lot of similarities there, okay? Okay, we're equal. We're just different. You see what I mean? We're equal, but we're just different. We go about things, we go after the same things, but we go about them in different ways, okay? And I'm not saying your way is wrong. The way women do it is wrong, okay? Okay, and I'm not saying the way men do it is right, okay? Your way of doing it is just as valid as ours. That's all I'm saying. Is that I'm going to respect your process. You should respect mine, okay? If you want to watch a show about women who are dating, you should at least have some believable men on the show, okay? Because the guys that you see on this fucking shit, those aren't the guys you're going to meet out there, okay? You will meet guys like Herbert and Harry in real life, okay? But they're not going to be successful corporate divorce attorneys. They're not going to be politicians. Harvard graduate politicians, okay? They're going to be fucking low-level guys, okay? Low-value men, okay? And there's a lot of those out there, okay? But guys like that don't become, corporate CEOs. You see what I mean? They don't graduate from Harvard, okay, with high-paying jobs, okay, in downtown New York. They don't do that. I'm sorry, but it's true, okay? And so, but they depict the high-value men on the show as low-value. Whereas they take the mid women on the show and then portray them as high value. Look at Seema. What the fuck is that? You want to talk about a woman with delusions of grandeur? But the show feeds into her delusions. It depicts her as a boss bitch. Okay, she's got all these hot guys, okay, that are in love with her, and she just dumps them because they're not good enough for her. Get the fuck out of here, okay? In real life, a woman like that will be lucky to work at a guy, to be with a guy that works at fucking Taco Bell. Okay? And realistically, that's exactly what would happen. The show can't show that. Okay, because you got to show women as empowered, pathetic, old, over-the-hill women with no fucking kids that chain smoke, and are also addicted to fucking fast food. Okay, and always talking about themselves and how much of a boss bitch they are. Yeah, no, that's not attractive. That's not attractive to men. It's not. Okay, much less a high-value man. Can you imagine that? A high-value man fall in love with that? Okay, because Adam is pretty much high value. Okay, he lives in a fucking nice place. I know he's a gardener. He sticks his hands in shit all day. Okay, but he's a professional. He's good at what he does. He charges a lot of money for what he does. He lives in a nice fucking place. He lives by his own rules. He doesn't have any fucking ex-wives or fucking bastard children around that he's got to support or nothing like that. Okay, and he's a good-looking guy. Okay, a lot of women would want to be with a guy like that. Okay, a lot of women that don't have kids that are a good 30 years younger than fucking Seema. Okay, that don't have fucking kids, that don't chain smoke and eat fucking fast food, okay, and criticize men and profile men, okay, so that they can disqualify them and act like they're better than them, okay, and act like a stuck-up snobbish bitch to everybody. Okay, no, he can get a lot of girls that don't do any of that stuff, okay, but the show's not going to show you that. Because on this show, Seema's the good one, okay, it's Adam that needs to live up to her standards. You see, and that's just bullshit. That's not realistic at all. And you really want to get me started on Miranda? Okay, get the hell out of here. You got one butt ugly fucking lesbo in love with another butt ugly fucking lesbo. Okay, what more can you say about that? There's nothing more you can say, all right? Okay, let's finish this thing here. Now, when we left off last time, we had Miranda and Joy. They were hugging each other in the shit and piss-stained bathroom. Okay, and she was hugging Joy with her shit and piss-stained rubber gloves. Both on their knees on the floor in a bathroom of a toilet that fucking exploded with Epcot's piss and shit. Okay, yes, that was where we left off last time. Okay, I know, pretty exciting. Okay, so that's going on here. Okay, Carrie left and she decides to go home. Okay, and guess what? Despite the fact that she just left a Thanksgiving dinner, it's still daylight and sunny outside when she gets home with the pie. Okay, by herself. Okay, we don't even see the cat around. But she gets home in her stupid ass like pixie dress, her fuchsia colored pixie dress with her fucking fuchsia beret and just looking fucking dumb as shit for a woman that's 60 fucking years old. All right. So she gets home. It's daylight. Okay. She gets home to her big, nicely furnished, empty house. The cat disappeared, but she doesn't give a shit. Okay. She turns on her karaoke machine, which she hates, that Miranda left there. Okay. And she decides to start playing some Barry White. Okay, not my darling, I can't get enough of your love, baby. No, not that one. I actually like that one. No, he starts playing You're the First, the Last, My Everything. Dun, 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 dun. I know there's only one you. Okay, I can't do Barry White, okay? But yeah, she starts listening to that. Why the fuck would you pick an old retro disco song like that? Barry White, no less, okay? But she starts listening to that on her karaoke machine, starts dancing around in her heels because Duncan doesn't live downstairs anymore, so there's no one to complain. Okay, now that song, You're My First, the Last, My Everything by Barry White, that came out he wrote it in 1965, okay? But he didn't release it, okay, until 1974. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, okay? But a lot of people know that Little Richard invented rock and roll. He did. He invented rock and roll in the early 50s, and then the white man stole it. Okay, well, yes, that is true, okay? But a lot of people don't realize that Barry White invented disco. Yes, he did, okay? And the only place that he could play, that anybody would buy his records or play his records for an audience is in the gay discos. Because you got to remember, disco was gay before it went mainstream. Before Saturday Night Fever, if you wanted to listen to disco, you had to go to a gay bar. Okay, that's what disco was, okay? And they used to make their own records in gay bars, okay? Like some DJ would play someone's record that they recorded themselves in some studio in New York, and if it was a hit, boom, then the radio stations would start playing it, okay? That's what disco was. It was gay music, okay? In the early 70s, it was gay music. In the late 70s, it went mainstream, okay? Well, Barry White invented disco in 1973 when he composed a song called Love Theme. Look at it now. Love Theme, it's like a 5-6 minute song, but a song is a bad word because there's no words in it. It's just music. But Barry White, who's got the deep baritone voice, yes, he made a song that had no words in it. Okay, Love's Theme. That was the very first disco song ever made. It came out in 1973, a very special year for me. Okay, it came out in 1973, and that was the first official disco song. Okay, well, Barry White created it. All right. Anyway, now I do know that Sarah Jessica Parker, when she was underage, she was working on Broadway. She played Annie as a little girl, and she used to go into Studio 54 as a little girl. But then so did Drew Barrymore. So what the fuck? I mean, Michael Jackson was going into Studio 54 when he was like 17. So what the fuck? Anyway, so did the Osmonds. All right. Anyway, so yeah, they had let a lot of underage people into Studio 54 back in the day. All right. But yes, he invented disco. Just so you know that. All right. So anyway, we get a Pie eating montage, okay, of all the characters on the show wrapping up their storylines. Giuseppe and Anthony are talking by this little table in the kitchen, the breakfast table. Giuseppe's offended that Anthony thinks that the only reason Giuseppe proposed to him was because he wanted a sugar daddy, or in this case, a mama, which is true. Giuseppe's a good-looking guy, okay? He's tall, he's handsome, he's got the accent, he's got a big dick, you know, all that kind of stuff that the gay men love, okay, that Anthony loves, but he's got no fucking personality. There's no substance to him. He's basically just a poster. He's a Ken doll. That's all he fucking is. Okay, there's nothing about him that he's crazy about or passionate about, okay, or against or anything like that. He's just there. Okay, you see, he's just a himbo. He has no personality. There's no depth to him. Okay, the only depth to him is how deep he can get inside fucking Anthony's ass with that huge fucking schlong of his. That's it. And they've made many points about that on the show. Okay, but that's it. He's an identity. There's nothing else to him. Okay. Okay, and Anthony was afraid of marrying him because he's like, oh my God, if I marry this guy, I'm gonna be his mommy. I'm gonna have to do his laundry. I'm gonna have to cook for him. Okay, I'm gonna, have to dress him every day. So when he goes off to school, I'm gonna have to pay for everything for him because he doesn't fucking work. You know what I mean? He was legitimately concerned about that because Anthony's in his 60s and Giuseppe's like 29 or something, right? Anyway, so yeah, and so what does Giuseppe do? Okay, when he points this out to Anthony, okay, well, he picks up the chocolate cream pie that Carrie dropped off earlier because it's Thanksgiving, right? And he just does the James Cagney on Anthony's face, a chocolate cream pie. He gets chocolate cream pie. Get it? Get it? Okay, the Fudgepackers. Get it? Okay, they get chocolate cream pie on Anthony's face. He's like, I'm not cleaning this up, and they both start laughing, and that's the end. Like, wow. If only real life relationship problems were solved this easily. Okay, but that's how it gets resolved. They just start laughing about it. Okay, problem resolved. That's the end of Anthony's story on Sex and the City and in Just Like Crap. Right there, done, over. All right, moving right along. Charlotte serves pie to Rock during Thanksgiving dinner. Rock wants to see the picture. Okay, so the whole family's sitting there in Harry's house eating pie. Rock wants to see the picture. Okay, that Charlotte told Aunt Carrie to take of her while she was doing her stupid ass Millie Bobby Brown fucking play, modern Millie Bobby Brown, okay, whatever the fuck it's called, some gay fucking 1920s musical that hates men. Okay, yeah, she wants to see a picture because in that play, in that musical theater performance, Rock actually looked feminine. She wore makeup, she had a wig on, jewelry, a dress, everything. Okay, and of course Charlotte was in love with the fact that her daughter actually looked like a girl now instead of dressing like a goddamn homeless fucking boy because she's fucking non-binary transgendered bullshit, all right? Okay, well, Charlotte struggled over this in the bathroom in tears, okay, and she deleted the picture despite the fact that I'm sure Carrie saved it. I'm sure it's on her fucking phone already. She can just get another copy of it. But yeah, but Charlotte deleted it because she respects her daughter's non-binary status so much that she will not even keep a picture that Rock didn't even know about of her daughter looking like a woman. She erased it. She deleted it. And she tells Rock that I deleted it to respect your non-binary status and all that kind of bullshit. And Rock's mad at her like, hey, mom, okay, that wasn't me. Okay, I was playing a character. Okay, that wasn't me. I was in makeup. That was a costume I was wearing, okay? And in the future, I'm going to be many different people, okay? So you just need to get used to it, okay? That wasn't a representation of me. That was a costume that I wore, okay? That was a role that I played, okay? Like that. And then Lily there, fucking a butt ugly fucking Asian Lily, who's 29 years old in real life, playing a fucking 18-year-old. She fucking, I took plenty of pictures. Here, let's look at them. And so they all gather around together to look at the pictures of Rock. And of course, Rock looks like the fucking, the bitch from fucking Family Guy. The one that wears the beanie and the glass. I don't watch Family Guy, but the one that wears the beanies and the glass. Yeah, she looks like that. Okay, she looks like shit. She's wearing a fucking a collared shirt with a fucking that goes buttoned all the way to the top like a goddamn Latino gangbanger, that goes all the way down to her fucking knees. It's just ridiculous, okay? It's like a smock. Anyways, they're all sitting there gathered around looking at the pictures, okay? Honestly, Rock looks like she's dressed like a fucking soiled trash bag. That's what she looks like, okay? And that right there, that ends Charlotte's story forever on Sex and the City and Just Like Crap. Her kids are still shitheads, and Harry is still a pussy. Moving right along, Herbert decides that since he's not campaigning anymore, that he's going to start stuffing his fucking fat ass face with extra servings of pie. Okay, so before on this season, he was so concerned about his looks, about whether he's too chubby, whether he gained a pound, whether he's cool, all these fucking things. And now he doesn't give a shit. He's going to start stuffing his fucking fat ass with pie. He said, that's the best thing about losing a campaign, is that now I can eat more fucking pie. Like that. Okay? And he tells Lisa that he will do the dishes, not her, because she cooked all the food. Yeah, right. Okay? And that she needs to relax. Okay, and she eats some pie from the corner of his mouth. He just and eats it, which is disgusting and gross. Okay, he's probably got AIDS because he's a closeted homosexual. All right, and then she walks away, and I'm disgusted. Okay, and that right there, that ends Lisa's worthless story. She's still the same bitch she was in season 1, and Herb is still a chubby fucking pussy. All right, moving right along. Seema stuffs her fat ass, but now she's wearing jeans to cover up her fat ass, but she's still fat. Okay, and she stuffs her fat lung cancer ass with gluten-free food at Adam's get-together. They're having a get-together for Thanksgiving because they don't really celebrate Thanksgiving. They don't eat fucking turkey. So they're eating gluten-free fucking organic bullshit. All right? Okay, so she's there. Her cancer fucking fat ass is eating gluten-free food, okay? And she's wearing her baggy fucking jeans. Okay, and that right there, she tells Adam that she can get used to gluten-free pie or whatever the fuck it is. Okay, and because she's used to Arby's and fucking KFC. That's what she's used to. That's what she really likes. Okay, but now she's eating gluten-free fucking organic, vegetarian food. Okay, and that right there, that ends Seema's storyline. So all that bitchiness about what she expects from a man. He needs to be tall, he needs to be handsome, he needs to be rich, he needs to fucking eat out her asshole and tell her how wonderful she is every fucking 30 seconds, and provide for her and all that kind of shit, make time for her and everything, give her an orgasm every time. Okay, all that shit that she demands despite the fact that she's an ugly fucking 60-year-old fucking chain-smoking, fast food addicted fucking piece of shit. Okay, despite that, okay, all these standards, she just threw them out the window because she's with Adam now. Okay, so that storyline is over with. Okay, Adam, a guy who literally sticks his hands in shit every day for his job. Okay, and fertilizer. Okay, that is. I guess that's apt. Now, I guess that is a good match after all. Never mind what I was about to say. Okay, but that doesn't change the fact that she's still a pretentious, selfish, stuck-up bitch. And that ends Seema's storyline. And the only reason she was on the show is because she's not fucking white. Okay, moving right on. Miranda and Joy eat pie together, and they smile and joke around and laugh together while they're eating pie. They're sharing pie together. Okay, neither one of them changed their clothes or washed their hands. Just so you know. Okay, they went straight from fucking, covered and pissed and shit in the bathroom, hugging each other to fucking eating pie. Okay, with no gloves on or anything. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. They didn't take a shower. They didn't change their clothes. Nothing. I wonder if it was all pie in there. Okay. Anyway, I think it had more to do with fucking what was that movie, The Help, with Octavia Spencer fed Bryce Dallas Howard a shit pie. I think they might have something in common with that. All right, moving right along. Okay. We see Carrie's cat finally while Carrie's on her laptop facing the window. Okay, she is deleting the epilogue. She wrote an epilogue last episode. Okay, about how her character, the woman, her character doesn't have a name, it's just called The Woman, for a fictional novel. Okay, about a woman who lived in Carrie's house who was a fucking slut. Okay, and fucked around. Okay, and lost the guy that she loved in 1846, though. Okay, yes, she changed her ending because in that show, in that novel, her protagonist ends up alone because I think her love of her life died of scarlet fever or some bullshit. Anyway, so she's sitting there and she wrote an epilogue. But now she changed it. So I read the whole fucking epilogue when I reviewed last episode. But now she erased all of that. So never mind me reading that whole fucking thing and having to write it down first. Okay, no, she changed. She deletes all that. Okay, and she gives herself a new epilogue. Okay, So I'm thinking, why the fuck did you give us the old epilogue last episode if you were just going to erase it and give us a new one? You see, and the other one's telling you that they decided after a long thing, and they decided to end the entire series with this episode. Bull fucking shit. You're going to keep this shit going on forever, okay? Because the actors are all getting $1 million an episode, okay? And it got canceled right away, so they had to rush this bullshit fucking episode together real quick just to tie up everything. Okay, that's what really fucking happened, all right? And so the new epilogue is the woman realized that she was not, that she was not on her own. She was alone. Now, is that what Carrie said? No, but it is the truth. It's the truth. She's not on her own. She's alone. Okay, and then she smiles and dances around her house all by herself with her cat, still in her outfit, her dress, her fuchsia dress. Okay, the empty house with cats. Okay, she sings along with Barry White. Yes, she does. You're the first, you're my last, you're my everything. Dun, 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 dun. And she dances around the place all by herself, just being Carrie, just diva in it up all by herself. And she starts making her way towards the bathroom because that's where the fucking sleeping pills are. And then the credits roll and we start hearing the Sex and the City music, as if this show had anything to do with Sex and the City. No. Kim Cattrall was right to not get involved in this. Okay, this was nothing but ego and hubris. Okay, and the message, this was just DEI. Let's find a vehicle to promote our politics, our far left politics, our Black Lives Matter, our LGBTQ, our diversity, our representation, okay, all that shit. Instead of giving us Sex in the City, continuing Sex in the City from an old lady's point of view, that's all this was. Okay, how can we send this message about Black Lives Matter, about pride parades, okay, about transgender rights, about sex changes for little kids, about making women attracted to young boys a good thing, white men are all suck, okay, all that kind of. How can we translate that into show? I got an idea. Let's just revive Sex in the City, and we'll put all that in there. We don't need to worry about the sex or the city stuff, or about the women dating or anything. We don't have to worry about that. Okay, we'll use this as a vehicle. Okay, we'll make sure that everyone has a gay best friend or hangs out with gay people. Okay, we'll make sure that everyone has at least a gay child in their family. Okay, that everybody fucking hates men. Okay, all the men are going to be stupid. Okay, they're going to be cowards, insecure. Okay, the women are all going to call the shots, and they're going to complain about how the men get everything when we actually watch the women get everything on the show. Sounds good. You see what I mean? And I think one of the big reasons, I haven't mentioned this so far, but I think one of the big reasons that this show failed so bad is because I think for most of you women out there, okay, I think that most of you women don't actually hate men. You get mad at them, I'm sure you do. Okay, like we get mad at women too, but we don't hate women. Okay, most of us don't hate women. There's a very small percentage of men that hate women. Okay, and I believe there's a very small percentage of women that hate men. Okay, most of you have brothers and fathers and sons. Okay, I know you don't hate men. Okay, but you can never guess that from this show. Okay, and I think that's what turned off a lot of women for this show. I was just listening to some guys, and Just Like Crap guys, or these two gay guys that reviewed. I shared it already. It's on this channel. Okay, they reviewed this episode. Okay, and these are gay guys, and even they fucking didn't like it. Okay, they didn't like the way the gays were being portrayed on the show. They didn't like the way the characters, the women were acting. And they said some other stuff like what they were wearing and shit like that. As well. Okay, but they got it. They got it. Okay, and I think that for the most part, women don't hate men. Okay, but this show does. Okay, it hates straight men. That's all right. Let me clarify. It hates straight men. Okay, I'm probably the only straight guy that's actually watching this show, that's watched every single episode, okay, of this and Sex in the City and the movies, okay, and reviewed them. I'm probably the only straight guy there is, okay, that did that, okay, because that's what I do. I give you a straight man's point of view, okay. I tell you the truth here, okay. I'm not gonna bullshit you, okay. And this entire show was just an abortion like that. It was just politics. That's all it was. It was never meant to entertain you. It was never meant to progress the characters. It was just meant to be woke. woke, because that was in vogue. Biden just won the presidency. That was in vogue in 2021, but it's not anymore. And unfortunately, this show still thinks it's 2021. Okay, or maybe the executives at HBO Max just realize it's not 2021 anymore, and nobody's watching this piece of shit, and we need to fucking get rid of it. Okay, and they made the right call. It never should have existed. I'm gonna pretend it never happened. Okay, but it did, unfortunately. Treat the whole series the way they treated Shay and Naya during this season. Okay, just don't talk about it. Okay, let's end it with Sex and the City the movie, part 1, not the second one, part 1. Okay. Because this show is all sorts of wrong. Okay, I'm glad I'm done reviewing it. I built my channel off of this show. Okay, I built my channel off of this show, off of season 1, and then that gave me the idea to review all the Sex and the City episodes again. All right, so I am grateful for the show. Give me a lot of material to work with here. But I'm glad it's over now. It's the end of this shit show. Literally, this episode literally was a shit show. Okay, literally, it was a shit show. Okay, so they finally did listen to us. Okay, so oh well. Okay, I'm glad it's over now. Now I got to fucking finish reviewing The Devil Wears Prada, because remember, I never finished reviewing that. I took a break from that. I only had 1 episode left. I took a break from that to review this show, and now it's done. I'm happy it's done. I might do a follow-up if something happens, but if it doesn't, may it rest in peace. I thank you very much for watching all these episodes, and I will see you soon once I finish reviewing The Devil Wears Prada. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. I am very grateful for that. I started off with almost nothing with this show, and now I've got over 1,000. So thank you very much. I appreciate all of you. Okay, see you on the next one. Bye.